Hello again, Canes fans. We're live at the Fiesta Bowl. We just got done having the final head coaches press conference. And when you come to these big bowl games and they get the two head coaches together and they have a press conference the day before the game, that's when you know it's time. And Mario Cristobal certainly had his game face on today up on the podium. If you haven't had a chance to see it, the video is on our CaneSport.com website. So make sure that you go and check it out there. But yeah, Mario zoned in, man. He recognizes the moment. The head coaches spoke quite a bit about the challenges of navigating all of the things going on in college football right now, while also preparing for a game of this magnitude. And obviously, winning a national championship is at the forefront of everything everybody in the college football business does every single year. They're managing their own players' retention, trying to keep their players from going into the transfer portal. Miami's done a very good job of that. As you know, there's 6 guys that did go in the portal, but no key players in the program have done so thus far. They have a 5-day window after the last game where they can still go in the portal. So I believe, Mario has pretty much said, hey guys, this is about us. This is about our 2025 team. I know that some of you guys, may make some different decisions from a personal standpoint moving forward, but right now the complete focus is on this team and getting ready for this game on Thursday night, and let's keep the portal out of it. And the Miami program itself has done a very good job of doing its part. You're not seeing commitments out of the portal. There were 2 quick visits last weekend. There will be more this coming weekend, but no commit announcements of any type, even though there might be a couple of commits already in place. No chatter. Nobody within the building, so to speak, of the Miami football program is speaking anything about the transfer portal at this point, and complete focus on the game. So, yeah, so we had the head coach's press conference here this morning, and it was really interesting. A lot of respect both ways with Pete Golding and Mario Cristobal. They've known each other a little bit through the years, and Golding talked about how he's followed Mario's career and has always had a lot of respect. And certainly, as he's preparing to try to take down this Miami team tomorrow night, and recognizing what a challenge that's going to be, the respect level has certainly been elevated. What I want to do on this show is take your questions. So if you have any questions about what's going on out here in Scottsdale, Glendale, Arizona, post them in the messages. And like I did on the show yesterday, I will try to address as many questions as we can here today. But man, it's a little chilly today. I don't know that the Canes would want it. Well, they don't care, but it's gotten a little colder out here. It's a little bit more overcast. I've got a cup of water here. I wish I had some of that Mario Cristobal cafecito in this cup. But yeah, it's a little bit of a gloomier day out here in the desert today than we've seen earlier this week. Obviously, it's not going to affect the team at all. They'll have their final walkthrough today, and then obviously tomorrow we'll get ready for the football game. So let's see what. Let me go over here and see what's on everybody's mind here today as we get closer. I've seen a lot of Canes fans rolling in. Last night I ran into a guy. This was awesome. He says, "You're from Miami." He says, "Oh, I love Miami. I'm going to bet $1 million on Miami on Thursday." And I looked at him like $1 million. I mean, man, that's a lot of cash. But a lot of positive Miami vibes out here in Phoenix, no question. And one end, C Kane 510. What's my confidence level? My confidence level is very high for this game. I think Miami has a huge preparation edge. Pete Golden tried to put a happy face on it, talked about how for the game itself, they're going to have the bulk of their offensive coaches on the sideline. There'll be a couple that stay with Lane Kiffin in Baton Rouge. But, like, offensive coordinator Charlie Weiss yesterday was flying back and forth to Baton Rouge to go visit with Sam Levitt, the transfer quarterback prospect, and yeah, like he's here. He's and maybe he'll do a great job at the game. But this is not an ideal way to prepare for a football game, to have so much uncertainty, and it can create some anxiety within the players. So I feel Miami should have a little bit of a preparation edge in this game, and Corey Heatherman's done a great job with mobile quarterbacks, certainly this season and throughout his career. So I feel pretty good about Miami's place going into this thing tomorrow night. There's certainly not going to be any excuses for sure. Lenore's Murray, he's got a nice prediction. 33-13 Canes. I don't know if I'm going to go that far on my confidence meter. I've got a pretty good confidence meter, but I don't think I'm going to go 33-13. I would, if I had to make a prediction, I'm looking maybe about a one touchdown Canes victory here in this game, and I hope it does play out at least that way. But a lot of positivity, a lot of good energy for the Hurricanes out here in the Phoenix area. T-Love 42 will need 34 points in this game. I kind of agree with that. I think this game's going to be totally different than the Texas A&M and the Ohio State games. I think Miami is going to, need more offense to beat Ole Miss. As good as the defense has been playing, I don't know that it's realistic to expect them to hold them in the teens, or even in, maybe even in the low 20s. It may play out that way, but I just don't know if going in as you're preparing for this game that you can have that kind of expectation, just because of Ole Miss's, track record, scoring throughout the entire season and how they've just obliterated a lot of the teams they've played. So, the Canes defense should be able to do well, but they get a lot of yards on broken plays and things happen, and the quarterback is really good at improvisation, and so I would expect Ole Miss to be able to score some in this game, and I think the Miami offense is going to have to be on point, and I think they can be. I think that the way that they played offense against Texas A&M and Ohio State was very effective for those football games, but I think that they have a lot more in the arsenal that they can call upon here in the Fiesta Bowl tomorrow night. And I think Shannon Dawson will be prepared to open things up a little bit should he need to. I mean, Miami's always going to prefer to run the ball, control the clock. But if they need to score more in this game, I do think that Shannon Dawson will be prepared to do that. We spoke to him a little bit yesterday. You guys that are on our CaneSport.com website, you had a chance to see that interview, and he's confident as hell, man. Shannon Dawson, he is just exuding confidence these days. You could tell that he's very uplifted by the success that this team has had, and listen, it could have residual benefits for him as well in his coaching career, because he has the stage now, really, that he didn't have before, and so he feels pretty good about it. I think we got I don't know now. Well, I'm not gonna say he's an Ole Miss fan, but Pete Golding's going to be a better head coach than the defensive coordinator. I'm not so sure about that. I mean, this is certainly indoctrination by fire, what he's going through here this week with Ole Miss. And I mean, you get a head coaching job and you got to go prepare for the college football playoffs. And then I already spoke about all the different things that are going on in the college football world with the portal and keeping your own players. Pete Golding's swimming a little bit. He admitted it in the press conference this morning. There's a lot on his plate for a guy that's learning how to be a head coach. Let's be honest. There's a difference between being a coordinator and being a head coach, and he is learning on the fly how to be a head coach. So, maybe he'll be a better head coach than a coordinator. I don't know. But time is going to tell on that. Eddie Delva wants to know what the energy level is like from the team and the staff, it's really high, man. They're fired up. I mean, I was out on the town a little bit last night, and you see Ole Miss players out a little bit and stuff. I haven't seen one. I don't think Miami players are leaving the hotel. Okay, they are focused. They're having meetings. They know what kind of opportunity this is. So I hope you guys had a chance to see the interviews that we did yesterday at Media Day, and you could you talk to Mark Fletcher, and you just can feel his excitement, and Keontae Scott, razor focus. He's ready to go. Carson Beck, same way. So check those out on the website, and I think you'll get a better feel for just what the vibe is on the team. But a lot of very, very, very positive energy. Key players. Well, I'll talk about Ole Miss. I mean, it starts with the quarterback. I really like the running back Lacey. He's I think underappreciated. But listen, the key for Miami in this game is you have to control their quarterback, and you got to try to keep them in the pocket. You may sacrifice a little bit on pressure. What you don't want is him running all over the place, because when he gets into improvisation mode, he is dangerous as hell, very elusive. It allows the receivers downfield to find open spaces in the defense, and they get a lot of big plays, a lot of yardage out of those broken plays. So key for this game absolutely is him. You got to keep him in the pocket. You want him to try to hurt you throwing the football, not running around. Chris Brown, did we not just play a game against a team that had 2,000-yard receivers? I'm not worried about this offense. Different, man, different. Ohio State's quarterback was a more traditional quarterback. He's in the pocket. You know where he is. Miami was able to get a lot of pressure on him. This guy is a different beast. It's a whole different offensive attack, and I don't know that we can make the comparisons there. I don't think we can make a fair comparison there between the last game and this one. Lenoris Murray talks about the Miami defense keep playing physical, 100%. You don't want to have Lacey running the football in this game. You want to get them in third and long, and then you want to focus on keeping the quarterback in the pocket and trusting your coverage. And, Miami, I don't think we have to worry about Miami playing physical. I mean, that's been the DNA of this team, really for, the whole season. And why would it be any different in the biggest game of the year? So, I think the Canes are prepared for a physical ball game. I think they will show up physical. I don't think we'll have any issues in that regard tomorrow. Pinellas Kane, 89-31. Doubt in my voice on our defense? No, man. But that doesn't mean I don't respect the number 2 offensive team in the country. It doesn't mean I don't respect the Lane Kiffin offensive system. It doesn't mean I don't respect what the skilled players that they've been able to pull together in this system over an entire season are capable of doing. It doesn't mean that I don't have confidence in the Canes defense. I agree that Miami will probably be the best defense, that they play this year. A lot of people would say, oh, well, what about Georgia? Ole Miss scored a lot of points on Georgia. Okay. So I don't want to hear any bullshit about the Georgia defense and how great they are. Okay. They didn't look so great in the fourth quarter the other day in New Orleans. Okay. That allowed Ole Miss to get to this game. Miami defense is better than the Georgia defense. So I totally agree with you, Pinellas. And there is no doubt in my mind, but there is respect for what Ole Miss is capable of doing. See her. Okay. Jockey Houston, any word on Damari Brown? Everything we've heard is he is trying like hell to be ready to go. Okay. And I think there's a confidence level that he will be able to play. But nothing is being said from a definitive standpoint in that regard. But I'm expecting Damari Brown to be out there. I think that he can bring a lot to the table for this game, and I would hope that he'll be out there. Let's see here. Lenoris wants to know, is it cold where I'm at? Man, it is freezing, okay? Like, I'm trying not to shiver here. I mean, it is really cold. I'm not dressed for the part. I got long sleeves, but I mean, the temperature's been dropping as the morning is going forward. And when I walked out of my hotel room, it was not cold like it is right now. But we're going to power through this thing. Also have a podcast with On3 after this one. But we're going to, we're going to power through, and we'll be all right. A little cold. Kind of, it's a nice change of pace. Let's put it that way. Chris Brown says, if that quarterback takes off, he better get down. Agree. I can think of a couple guys out there, particularly one at safety that is going to be hunting. Actually, two at safety that are going to be hunting a little bit if he thinks he's going to, run roughshod through the Miami defense. But, we'll see how that plays out. But, I don't think anybody's going to be shy from the physical standpoint in this game. For sure. This is Texas A&M all over again. Their offense was great until they played our defense. Line that shit up. All right. Yeah. But these guys are better than Texas A&M. This quarterback is better than Marcel Reed. And, listen, you can, be, all hunky. We can be as hunky-dory as we want to be. But there's some reality to some of this. And the Ole Miss offense is better than the Texas A&M offense. All respect to Texas A&M. They've been very good. They were very good this year on offense. This Ole Miss offense is better than them. They're number 2 in the country for a reason. They're here at the Fiesta Bowl for a reason. This is a very good team that very easily could have been undefeated this year. They lost a tight game with Georgia during the regular season. Beyond that, they went through unscathed. And I think you got to respect these guys. I mean, hopefully the game plays out like everybody wants it to, and it's all great. But you got to respect these guys. 38-17, Dirty Kane thing says. I think everybody would be really happy with that. Mayday Kane says, I really believe that Heatherman will have a good scheme. 100%. That is something that we can count on. Even in the games Miami lost this year, it wasn't because Corey Heatherman didn't have a good scheme. This defense has shown up prepared for every single game that it's played this year, and he will be ready. In-game adjustments, maybe, but I'm not expecting a lot of in-game adjustments because the way Ole Miss has had to prepare for this game, they're not putting. I refuse to believe they're putting in anything new. They're going to run their offense. They're probably going to have the same offensive game plan in this game that they had for the Georgia game. Where that got them here. I don't see a lot of in-game adjustment issues from Miami in this one. Could be wrong, obviously. I just don't see where they would have had time to put in a lot of new stuff. That's where the coaching issue that we've talked about with Ole Miss, with the coaches coming and going and not knowing who's there from one day to the next. That's where it could really have an impact. Miami's had time to probably put in some wrinkles and some new things for Ole Miss. I'm not sure Ole Miss has had the same opportunity. G-Nice and Mario he trusts. Listen, Mario's built to this. And I know he takes a rap for some of the issues that he's had on game day earlier in his career and stuff and all that. But those are experiences, okay? And you have to grow from those if you're going to be successful. And I think that we have seen growth from Mario this year. Things got away from them a little bit in the middle of the season. I don't think anybody would argue with that. I personally think the schedule has something to do with it, with 2 open weeks sandwiching a game in the middle. That kind of threw the team off kilter a little bit, but they've regrouped themselves, come together, and I think Mario as a head coach has really evolved. Ty Simpson heading to the draft. Are we running out of options? Maybe, and here's why. Unless you can get a guy that is elite in the portal, if you're Miami, the market is insane. Like, do you really want? You don't need to waste money on an average quarterback. You know, they're happy with the guys that they have in the program. We just haven't seen a hell of a lot from any of them, and everybody can't stand with the last of what they saw of Emory, totally understandably. But you know, if you can't get somebody that makes you significantly better at that position, it might be the most prudent thing to do to just sit tight and you know, not waste resources there. So we're going to see. Like I said, the portal is totally on the back burner right now for Miami. You know, there's a couple internal staffers that are obviously sitting in a conference room somewhere at the hotel, monitoring things, making phone calls, talking to agents. But it's staying insulated, and probably wisely so. I think it's a great move by Mario and the staff to approach it this way, because you don't have the distraction of players sitting in your meeting rooms at your practices, you know, worried, are they trying to get somebody to replace me? Am I going to have my job next year? Do I need to go into the portal and see what my opportunities are? Like, you don't have any of that kind of distraction going on, you know, here. And, you know, I think that is, you know, obviously favorable to preparing.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Let's see here. Mike Jeezy, he's guaranteeing that we beat Ole Miss. Ole Miss! I like that. That's the first time I've seen that. Mike, I hope you give us the rights to steal that if we find the appropriate moment for a headline or something. Ole Miss. I like that. Well, how great would that be if our headline tomorrow night on CaneSport.com was Canes pummel Ole Miss? I think, yeah, everybody would like that quite a bit. That's a great great phrase you came up with. Let's see here. I'm seeing the weather tomorrow. High 58, lows 39. I'll tell you what, Mayday, it's feeling like 39 right now. It is getting colder by the minute here. It's supposed to rain a little bit this afternoon, but I mean, this is the desert. I mean, maybe a few sprinkles. I can't imagine there's going to be a deluge of rain out here, but it's getting damn cold. I'll tell you that. So a high of 58 tomorrow. What I'm feeling right now, the chill going through my bones here, I would not be surprised by that at all. Now, Biggie, you're talking about the offensive assistants at Ole Miss joining Lane at LSU. We were surprised this morning. Like, we thought they all were at LSU. We were surprised this morning when Pete Golding at the press conference said, you know, poo-pooed the whole thing and said, you know, my running backs coach is going to be here. This guy's going to be here. That's going to be there. We got 13 guys in the offensive meeting room that have been here the whole season. So that's a non-issue. So Ole Miss is trying to dismiss that notion of their coaching situation impacting this football game. You know, so, you know, we'll see. Mayday says it's supposed to rain. I know, I'm well aware, but I'm looking around right now. It's a little cloudy. It's cold. I don't see what looks like a lot of rain. We have an imposter in the room, but I thank you. I thank you so much for complimenting my looks this morning. I'm actually really cold right now, but like looking in a mirror, man, I hope not. If that little avatar that you got there on the left side is what you look like, I hope I'm not looking like that this morning. I mean, kind of, you know, fairly well groomed, and my hair's not messy like that, so I hope that's not the case. All right, Canes fan 305, they have a good kicker. Yes, they do. But hopefully they're kicking field goals. We would be very happy if they're kicking field goals. All right, Oscar, not Oscar De La Renta, Oscar Larena, who is the offensive weapon who has a big game tomorrow. I'm going to say C.J. Daniels. I feel like C.J. Daniels is just ready to just bust out. He's had a bit role for a lot of weeks now. He had the injury in the middle of the year. When we saw the plays that he made in the Notre Dame game, obviously we're sitting there saying, man, this kid's going to have a monster season. C.J. Daniels, he looks great. So if I had to, pick, it's easy to say Tony. I think Ole Miss will be keying on Tony. It's easy to say Fletcher. I think Ole Miss is going to gear up to stop the running game if they can, put extra guys in the box, and I think that's going to open opportunities for the wide receivers. Hey, I'll throw out C.J. Daniels as a candidate for that. Block a field goal or a punt in this game, that would be nice. Those things happen so infrequently in football and college football. So I'm not gonna make a prediction there. Dirty Cane thing, I guess. Looking forward to next year. Give me Emory. Let's go. I think an Emory Williams Luke Nickel battle in spring practice will be very intense. I think they're both about at the same level right now as quarterbacks, quite honestly. Emory's got some game experience. Luke does not. You see Luke make some spectacular throws on the practice field. But is he as mentally ready as Emory? No chance. Emory has prepared for a lot of college football games now. I know nobody respects him. I know the visions of last year's bowl game is all that everybody has in their mind. But Emory's better than what everybody thinks he is. I think it would be a really good competition. I think if Miami is playing offense the way that it's playing offense right now, featuring the running game, featuring the power attack, sprinkling in the pass and not expecting its quarterback to throw for 350 every single game, that Emory Williams can thrive in a system like that. Luke Nickel, similar. I don't think Luke Nickel would come in here and you'd be looking for him to throw for 350 every game either. I'm not overly concerned about the quarterback position going into next year. Do I think they could win a national championship with an inexperienced quarterback? I mean, that's asking a lot when you factor in all the talent that they are losing here from this year's football team. But I'm not panicked at all about that. Malachi punt return for TD. That could certainly happen. We've seen how dangerous that he is in that type of situation. Roof is retractable. Weather will not be an issue. Yeah, if they close the damn thing, I'm telling you, it is cold out here. I mean, I would believe that if it's like this tomorrow, that they will close it and let everybody sit out there and be warm. Monster game coming for Malachi. Maybe. I mean, he's certainly capable of it. But we saw how Malachi can be negated a little bit, like in the Ohio State game. I mean, they basically took him out of the game. I mean, he was a very minor factor in that game. So we'll see. Ole Miss may not be able to do it as successfully. Is Shannon Dawson calling me? No. I hit my phone. It was making noise. But you guys have been watching my interviews with Shannon Dawson lately. They've been pretty fun. Even yesterday in media day, we had a little fun. And I guess on the nose, he asked me how many plays a game Ole Miss is averaging running, and I think I said 74 or something like that. I hit it right on the number. But Miami's was not that far behind, and he was making the point that Miami has almost an equal opportunity to score in this game, and that's what he's focused on. Malachi 10 catches, 150 plus. Man, how awesome with that. We got a lot of Malachi fever going on here in this chat here this morning. I love you too, man, Mr. Imposter. Don't know who you are, but love all the way. So this game will be decided by a TD. I assume you mean one TD, and I happen to agree with that. I think maybe like a 31-24 kind of game is what I'm expecting. I do think Miami's going to have to get into the 30s in this game to win. Let's see here. Martin Dube, Miami has to hold on to possession, obviously. Yes, limit Ole Miss to about 3 possessions in the first half. I think any of us would take that. Ball control drives. That's what Miami's trademarked that here. If they can chew up 5-6 minutes of possession, methodically move the ball down the field and get points, and keep that Ole Miss offense on the sideline, yes, that will bode well for the Canes. JoJo and Lofton joining Tony and having big games. Man, I would love to see Lofton and JoJo have big games. The biggest surprise for me this season has been the lack of impact that those guys have been able to make. And, it would just be phenomenal to see them bust out. Both are capable of it. I don't understand why the whole season has gone by with them doing very little. Never would have predicted it before the season. But a bust out in this game would definitely be good. NCG wants to add Pringle to the equation there. This game, is better built for Pringle than the last couple have been. And because of that, I think we might see more of Pringle in this game. It makes total sense to me for Miami to use more Pringle and get that speed element into the backfield in this game tomorrow. That's a guy, if you're looking for maybe an offensive player that could bust out in this game, I would definitely think in that direction. T-Love says all 4 quarterbacks in the semifinals are portal transfers. Yeah, they are. And that's because the portal gives teams the opportunity to go get guys that have game experience. And, it's kind of weird because, obviously you want to recruit great high school quarterbacks. And, but you've probably heard me say this before. To me, the onus is on those kids, those young quarterbacks. They have to develop and improve, and they're getting an equal opportunity on the practice field to do so. And there is nothing that Mario Cristobal and Shannon Dawson, I'll just use Miami as an example, would want more than to see Luke Nickel or Emory Williams get better than anybody that they have to go in the portal and buy, for obvious reasons. The less money you're spending on a quarterback, the more money you have for the other areas of your team. So they are trying to develop these guys to the point where they don't have to go to the portal. And we might see that this year. We're going to find out here over the next few weeks. We might see that this year. But, there's a reason why all these quarterbacks are in the portal, because they're experienced. They know what the hell they're doing. And you put them on a good football team, and they're capable of leading that team to a good place. So we'll see. This defense at Ole Miss is not anywhere near Ohio State. Nope, it is not, T-Love. And that's why I think Miami will have success on offense. I think Miami will be able to score points in this game. I think Miami will need to score points in this game. But the John G. Hernandez says it's not going to be easy, man. And no, I do not think that it will be easy at all. And a lot of big predictions, 38-17 Canes. That would be great. But we'll see. Ray Waltz is watching us in the air. All right. I like that. Nothing like good streaming. I mean, that you could stream video on the plane is kind of like a miracle. But Ray, we're happy to have you with us here on the show today. Ole Miss mods think that they can hold this under 150 yards rushing and their front seven will win in the trenches. Listen, I'm not agreeing with that at all. I mean, I mean, we'll see. I'm not going to call bullshit because they're going to play a game tomorrow night. We'll see what happens. But I mean, 150 yards rushing, quite honestly, is a lot of yards rushing. If you're throwing the ball, as I think Miami will tomorrow, they can hold Miami under 150 yards rushing. Who cares? I mean, it's the points you're producing. It doesn't really matter where they're coming from. All right, guys, I've reached the end of the questions. Not a lot more really that can be said. I mean, we've got tons of coverage on the website. We got coverage of the head coach's press conference this morning. Go to CaneSport.com and check that out. Tons of coverage leading up to the game. We've spoken to a bunch of players and from both teams. We've had the Ole Miss coverage too. So it's all there on the website for you guys. And thank you so much for supporting our YouTube channel and supporting our website and being part of our show. Your subscriptions are absolutely vital to everything that we do with our entire team at CaneSport. And we try to bring it all to you. We even have Steven at the All-American game in San Antonio this week, covering future potential Canes out there on the All-American stage. So I hope you guys are enjoying all the coverage. We're trying to do our best to give you everything to make you guys the most informed fans in America. We're going to try to bring home a victory tomorrow back to South Florida so we can have that national championship game at Hard Rock, man. That would be absolutely lit, something else. So that's going to do it for today for this Live from the Fiesta Bowl podcast. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.